Have you ever heard of the saying that if you don't learn how to make money while you sleep, you'll work until you're dead? And that's what this episode of the AJC podcast is going to be about, is how to use your brain to make money while you sleep. What do you think about that?
And there's so many avenues for revenue out there. I feel like people get so complacent with the 9 to 5, and I feel as if we don't. I mean, there's so many things that we as individuals are interested in, and the things that you're interested in will drive you the furthest. So take your passion, put a little project into it, and you might realize, oh, if someone's interested in this little trinket I make, or maybe I'm into making a t-shirt here, or I'm really good at sewing, maybe I'll make a couple hats. And then lo and behold, you have a business in front of you.
Yeah.
You know, and those are the kind of things, once you put it out there, you have it out there.
Yeah.
You go to bed, someone's still shopping on your site.
Yeah, for sure. And so with that being said, this podcast is going to be dedicated to showing you how you can use your iPhone and your brain to make money while you're asleep. And what we're going to do is we're just going to unpack a couple key points that you can use to begin to scale or to even excel at making money online. And one of the first ones I realized, this is probably the most important one, is to pick one thing and be great at it. And it's, you know, a man who chases two rabbits catches none. And shout out to my mentor, Sam Evans. He always told me about the power of focus, right? And so in the book Essentialism, there's a diagram where there is two circles. One circle has a bunch of arrows going all the way around it. And then there's one circle with a diagonal line and an arrow. And basically what that symbolizes is that you got the circle is your focus, and then all these other things are the shiny objects that can take away your focus. And so you can make an inch of progress, right, in multiple directions, or you can make a mile of progress in one direction. And so you want to pick a lane. You want to pick up one problem to solve, right? Solve one problem. Don't try to solve the world, right? Mm-hmm. And then you want to pick one platform to communicate and convey to people how you're solving that problem, either for yourself or how you've helped others solve that problem.
Absolutely, yeah. And I feel as if once you've established a solution, getting that rapport from people and that established credibility of people in that field, you know, establishing that community around, because you see it a lot with the digital revenues of income, you know, creating these classes or creating a product that helps elevate someone in their skills, or maybe someone's trying to get more into acting, like you see very often with master classes. You know, these people have their full-time jobs as actors, but when they put something out there like, hey, I'm Samuel L. Jackson, I'll show you how to, you know, say MF a couple of times, get a nomination for an Oscar. So when he puts that out there, he's creating a resource for someone who, I mean, unbeknownst to Samuel Jackson, he's sleeping, he's chill.
Right.
You know, Jeremy in Iowa was like, you know what? I'm gonna be the next Samuel L. Jackson.
Yes, it's shout out to Samuel Jackson too. One of the things is he was probably 2 or 3 years older than me before he finally nailed that first role. And it's so funny. Samuel Jackson, one of those characters where it's like, bro, when you started on camera, you already looked old. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I remember seeing him in Coming to America as the guy trying to rob the McDonald's at that time. And Eddie Murphy beat him up with a mop stick. But, you know, he stayed at it, right? Mm-hmm. And in Hollywood until he found his first break. But again, he wanted to make it big acting. So he had one problem and he stayed focused on that. Follow one course of action until successful. And then once he got his big break, the rest was history. But the other piece of that, though, is you need to be prepared. Mm-hmm. I think that, like, a lot of people miss that. They're waiting for the opportunity, but they're not prepared for the opportunity. Yeah. And Myron Golden says that your time is going to come whether you want it to or not. Mm-hmm. And it's either going to expose you or it's going to reveal you. It's going to expose you for being prepared for being unprepared, or is one going to reveal you to the world that, oh, this guy actually knows what he's talking about. He's good at what he does. And again, that's going to start from you being focused on one problem, right? And mastering that. And so what is mastery? Mastery is to effortlessly execute without the use of conscious resources. So if you're going to be a master at something, right, you need to focus on that one thing. You know, that's like what is the saying? It's like, you don't be afraid of a man you could do 10 now.
Yeah, you don't want to be a jack of all trades.
Yes.
Yeah, you'd rather be a master of one than a jack of all trades.
Yes, for sure. And, it's like, I don't want to be afraid of a man who's done 10,000 kicks once. I want to be afraid of a man who has done one kick 10,000 times, right? Because that's where you become a master. And so picking one channel and one problem and really honing in and talking about that. And I feel like even in entrepreneurship, some people just get tired of talking about the same thing over and over again because it's kind of boring, right? And I travel across the country and speak on stages, and I spend millions of dollars on ads, and I'm always like, how many people heard of me? And it's always a couple people, even in the insurance space, right? Well, I'm all over the place, and there's still like only a couple people. And so you have to be able to share that story over and over again. But at the same time, it keeps getting better, right? Because the journey when I first started telling my story and now the impact and the things that I've done, it actually keeps getting better and better. And I think that people lose sight of that, and they end up in this vicious cycle of, they start something, they're super excited about it. Then they realize this is going to be a little bit harder. They run into a little bit of resistance.
It's a reality.
Right? And they bump their head and they're like, oh, well, blah, blah, blah. And then they end up in this crisis of meaning, which is, can I see myself doing this for the rest of my life? Which is like the first initial conversation to yourself that you're about to quit.
You have to give yourself ultimatums.
Right. Right. And the ultimatum should be, it has to work or it has to work. And then they end up quitting, and they keep repeating this same cycle over and over again. And it's like, just stick with it. And eventually, something will work. It doesn't feel like it. You're putting in the work, but you're not seeing the result. And that is hard, right? As it's this unwavering faith where you could start out with people that got done with college, right? And you didn't go that route. And they're excited. They're with their friends, and you're seeing them doing all this stuff. And you're putting in the work. They're doing all this stuff, but you're not seeing a result. And you might start to question yourself, like, bro.
Yeah. And I mean, you're going to see all these highlights all the time, and you're only going to be comparing your lowlights to those moments. But with the true focus, you have to dive into your work, whether it's going to be revealed or not, knowing that preparation, once meeting opportunity, people will call it lucky. They'll be like, well, when did you start doing all this, man? You had that thrown in your lap. You had some favors done. I've been working on this. I've stayed driven to what I've been wanting to do, and I've been pushing towards it. And I saw an opportunity and said, why not?
Right.
I'm here already. I got all the things behind me.
Yeah. Why not me?
Why not me?
And that's the question that I always use to drive me and like have confidence with is, why not me? When I started with this, helping out life insurance to agents to scale their business using sales phones, right? Like, everybody looked at me like I was crazy. It's like, bro, you're an insurance agent. You're struggling with that. How the heck are you going to help somebody get clients as an insurance agent? And they couldn't see it. Everybody close to me doubted me. And at the time, man, that pissed me off. It had me so frustrated. I had a lot of like resentment. But my buddy Nathan, to shout out to him, he was like, man, looking back, you needed that because you were kind of going, but you didn't have that that something about when somebody tells you can't do something.
Oh, absolutely. Right? Yeah, please tell me no.
Yeah.
And I was hooping on Memorial Day, and there was a man in my face that said, shoot it. I'm on a 3-point line. All right. Right in this space. What do you mean?
Right.
Don't tell me to shoot it.
Right. Exactly.
Do it.
Doubt me.
And then I hit it again. Right. And then the next time I shoot, it says, cover him. He's a shooter.
Recognize him. Right. So again, your opportunity is either going to reveal you or it's going to expose you, or it's going to expose you. Like, oh, bro can't shoot. Right? So with the one and two, and again, that's with everything. And so my whole point to all of that is it's like the reward is going to come to you. You're going to be rewarded in the light, but the preparation is going to happen in the dark when nobody's looking. And that's the hardest part about entrepreneurship is nobody can see your vision. Nobody's going to have the belief. And it's only going to work, and you're only going to prove them when it actually works. And so you really just have to like block out all of that, because I feel like as an entrepreneurship, we go in wanting everybody to be super excited for us the way we're doing it, but we're stepping out of the norm, right? And we're breaking out of the matrix, so to speak, right? And some people can't wrap their head around that because you're not doing it the traditional way, because entrepreneurship is untraditional, right? You're going against all the norms, even what structure they, right? You're not in the traditional tax structure with the W-2 and the 1099 in regards to things in that structure. So you're breaking out all these norms, and people don't like that either, because you may be passing them up. But at the same time, my whole point to that is the belief that you have to have and to keep going until it works. Because for me, I was so frustrated that everybody didn't see my vision. They weren't excited. People, man, you need to get a job, you need insurance, and you need X, Y, and Z. How are you going to make this work? And I use that fuel to wake up every single day to put that work in, to stay consistent. And then obviously, of course, it worked because I stuck with it.
Yeah.
Most things will if you stick with it. So
I genuinely think it's a trust in yourself thing. There's so many times where you're going to hit a wall, or you're going to hit a point of contention where, I'm going to miss time away from my family if I'm traveling for this. It really comes on perspective. You're going to miss a little bit of time, but you get to go and do these experiences that you've been wanting to do. And then you come back, you can share these experiences. But there's so much perspective that comes at play when you're looking into these things. So it's really important to remember that anytime you're pushing for something, there's always going to be a bit of uncomfort. Discomfort is the source of growth. A plant must break out of its pot in order to root into the ground. Yeah, you're sure. So we as people have to grow, and that comes with a point of contention.
yeah, and it's picking one thing and being great at it, right? You can be mediocre at a ton of things, a jack of all trades and a master of none, or you could be a master of one, right? Even Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, right? They call him the free throw merchant.
And I'm an OKC fan since 2011. That hurts.
Yes, but boy got a mid-range game that's unstoppable, right?
If you're hitting 27 points, you might as well add another like 13 free throws to make it 40.
Well, you still got to hit the shot. You still got to hit the shot. And the thing is he mastered one shot, which is a mid-range jump shot.
Yep.
Right? He mastered it. Well, you see it, and it's just like, man, that looks so effortless to him, because he picked one thing, right? Because there's so many things you can be good at in basketball, but he picked one thing. I'm going to be good at making this shot with my eyes closed. And so, step one is to just pick one thing and get good at it. And the reason why is because online, if you're speaking to everybody, you're talking to no one, right? And so you need to have kind of a message or a tagline that cuts through the noise. And we call this the I help blank the blank by blank statement. And what this is you help a specific person to get a desired outcome through a unique mechanism. And that's the I help blank to blank statement. And the next thing you need to do is you need to actually get good and actually help people. And I think Frank Kern said, show people that you can help them by actually helping them.
Yeah.
Right. I feel like the marketing is like the new wave. I remember in 2018 talking about marketing. It wasn't that sexy, but now everybody knows that you need to produce or put up something on content or build a personal brand. Well, people just got good at yapping. Like, that's the new thing. It's people who have gotten really good at mesmerizing you, doing the song and dance, the first date, right? The magical first date. Everybody's good on that interview. Everybody's good at the first date. Everybody's got good at the isms of, saying the same stuff. But actually, like, master your craft, man. Like, get good at it. That's why I'm the king of leads. $110 million of issue paid business with my client is because, one, I was a student that sat at the foot of Sam Ovens for 5 years. Not only did I learn though, but I paid, right? Like, I was as a consultant accelerator. Then I went into his up level. That's 10 grand. And then for 36 grand for 2 years, like, I was in his mastermind while I got to spend hours with him every single week. And so I paid my dues, but I also was a good student, and I implemented those things to be good at what I do. Not just say that I'm good, but actually like deliver on that.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of room that we have to we have to grow in this space, which is actually delivering
Absolutely.
after we wow people with the marketing, because this is very, very important, because people can get good at the like mimicking and copying stuff, but the negative word of mouth moves 10 times faster than the positive word of mouth. And in business, you may not even know why your business is struggling. And it's because you said these things online, you've gotten customers, and they didn't refer you to somebody, they said something negative, and that's really why your business can't grow. So all that to say is, one, pick one lane, and then two, master, get good at it, and actually help people.
Yeah. And what I've learned about when you master one thing, you'll not that staying in that one thing is everything. Like, definitely don't pick up everything all at once, but if there's something else that's even somewhat similar, there's always alignment. Like I grew up with my grandpa kind of playing chess. And as I grew up, I learned there's so many things that are very similar to chess. Like the small nuances, like the mental game. You have a negotiation with a person. You gotta see who's making the first move. How far out are they reaching their pawns? Are they pushing their queens immediately? Are they throwing numbers out at you immediately? Are they playing a little more reserved? Are they setting up their pawn structure? All this, there's small moments. I mean, from basketball to chess to fighting games to business to editing to writing, there's so many little things that connect to each other. Once you master that thing, you'll start seeing it everywhere.
Yeah.
And then the world becomes comfortable to you.
Yeah.
The thing I like to see in the world becomes.
Yeah. And that's so good too. And there's another lesson in that too, which is, don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. What they do is going to show you everything that you need to know about them. Don't listen to what they say, watch what they do. Right? Are their words lining up with their actions? Are they consistent every single day? Are they showing up every single day? Are they delivering on the things that they say, even the small things, to themselves and to others? And so don't watch what people say, watch what they do. Don't listen to what people say, watch what they do. So that's a great point. I think the next thing that you want to make sure that you do, outside of, picking one thing and getting good at it, and then being actually able to deliver that by mastering your craft, is you need to make content. You need to become more visible. Yeah. And Myra Gordon says that there's already enough traffic out there. They just don't know who you are. So we don't need to invent traffic, right? We need to make better content, get better at saying the thing, get better at delivering the results so your clients will speak for you, right? Get better at it so that you can have social proof, right? Be able to, more importantly, show and not tell. That's another thing too, is don't tell people what you're going to do for them. Show them what you already done. Don't tell me what you're going to do. Show me what you've already done by doing something and making an impact. And I think that that's a huge point, because you need to get good at content. You need to get good at communication, more importantly, right? Because really, content is just turning the camera on.
Yep.
Right? Like, we've had so many conversations before. Like, bro, we need to just we just need to turn the camera on. And I knew this was the case when we did that first mock podcast. Mm-hmm. And there was this one clip in there that I watched probably like 10 times just dying. I was like, that's still been my favorite story in 2025. That one right there. And I don't know why, but I was like, okay, yeah, we just need to turn the camera on. Yeah. All right, get good at communication. Let people listen in, show them what you're doing, mm-hmm. and get good at communicating when you're doing it. So make content. People are so lazy with making content.
I think they're fearful too. They're worried about what people think. There's this big expectation. Everyone looks like they're so polished. I don't even think you need to show the polish. Like, the process is part of the polish. Like the consistency, putting it out there, showing the process, showing the work when you can, showing the mastery, the master at work, if you will. That is what people want to see. Yeah. And it's a Austin Kleon book I love called Steal Like an Artist, talking about taking inspiration from all of the greats who came before you, the network you have around you. His rule number 6 is, he says, the secret: you do great work and then you share it with others.
Ooh.
Like, take the time to master it, create the work that you're proud of, passionate about, and then share it with others. It's really easy to just hold on to what you love and never let go of it because it's so precious to you and only I can see it this lovely. Let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
If you want it to go somewhere, you have to let it go.
Yeah. Yeah, so good. And yeah, I think one of the quotes that I've heard that is super cliche in the online space is that good artists copy, great artists steal.
Yep.
And so I think in regards to making content, right? And so if the reason why making content is important is because it's your easiest form of leverage, right? One, everybody's got a smartphone. Two, everybody's got social media for the most part. And so if they're already on there, why not create your own reality show that where they're already just going through, that randomly you could just pop up. And if you're just interesting just enough by being yourself, then it allows people into your world. But this other piece too is it builds so much trust when people can just watch, right? So if you're, have you seen the Instagram like time lapse of the guy making like the he's building something in the Amazon with his hands. He's like building like a pool or something, and it's time lapse, right? So as that guy's doing that, one, we know that that's hard work, right? And he has nothing, right? And so he's out there doing it. I don't think I've seen a guy with a glass of water in the time lapse. But again, do we need to question whether this guy can build the pool, right? Because we just saw him do that. The other thing is if you ever seen one of those reels of somebody making a pottery thing, right, where the hands are getting dirty, and it starts out this way, and then they turk a throwing ball, and then it's slender, and then they put their fingers in it, and they bow it out, and that part of the process that doesn't look sexy, and then you see the finished product, like it's very intriguing, and you don't turn away. Well, that's the same thing that you need to do with your content, right? You need to show or don't tell, right? You need to be able to master your craft. You need to release it out so people can see it, solve a problem for people, but also you need to show some of the process, which is that authentic part of you, because that people can relate to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You see the starting point, and then you see this thing like, oh no, I could never get to that point. But it's all there. It's from, oh, something I feel familiar with, Maybe I'm a beginner in this. Maybe I'm an intermediate. Maybe I'm advanced. Maybe I have to college courses with everything this person knows. But there's a little bit of a different thing they do here that maybe I like. It is a tradition. Oh, I like the way they color this footage. I like the way they do this in Photoshop. This is a really cool animation style. I see these very small things. I learn a little bit. I like that. Ooh, I'm gonna take that. That's now mine too. And now we have these Rolodex of things that we like, that we learned it in grade school. We've learned it from our mentors. We've learned it from our teachers, our friends, our parents. There's all these little things that go into us. I mean, if you want to get philosophical, us as people, but us as our work as well.
Right.
We learn so much, and that comes with that family tree of great artists that come before us.
Yeah, it's so good, man. And with content too, the other piece is leverage, man. So, Orthopedic says, if you give me a level long enough and a place to stand, or I can move the world. And in business, that's pretty much what it is leverage, right? You're using a ton of leverage. And content is like the highest form of leverage, right? One of the highest forms of leverage is communication, and then code and media, right? And so if you put those two things together, right, you can build trust, right? It's engaging and it's persuasive, because you can create a reality. You can create your own reality show that people will tune into.
Yep.
And it's interesting if it's authentic, because then people can relate to it, because, you know, like you said, it's not too polished. And that is the highest form of leverage right there. So that, again, if you don't want to work until you're dead, you need to have some type of leverage. And this is how you can make money in your sleep, is by using content. All the money that I've made in the past 7 years has all come from highly leveraged activities with using media and communication, right? And so you want to make content because it's the highest form of leverage and it's the easiest thing to do. Pull out your phone, record it, upload it,
Yep.
and it's there. And then you don't have to find the people to show it to. The algorithm is going to do that for you, right? So, yeah, that's a good point. Next one is become the content machine, right? And this has become a content machine. And this was one now, probably 2 years ago, I started taking it serious. It's like I need to really, really focus on content. And the reason why I was having a challenge with that was because, like, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? What am I going to talk about? It's like, no, dude, I'm already doing the work.
Yep.
I just need to talk about what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right? Like we just got done trying to set this room up so I could finally get it clean and organized because it looked terrible. And the last story that you recorded in here, my wife's like, it's so messy in there. And I'm like, but this looks good. I have to use it while I have it now, and I'll get that part done, but it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that. I just built this in January. It's coming along, but at the same time, I've got to make use of the resources so I can communicate what I'm doing so people can see the progression.
Mm-hmm.
They can see what all that stuff was on the floor, right? Remember when this was just a black wall? You know what I mean? And so my whole point to that is you are the content. You don't need to create the content.
Yeah.
You are the content.
Yeah. We have cameras all over the place, even if they're not the ones that are like $20,000, $5,000, $2,200. We have cameras in our pockets. So much of it is, I mean, if you just throw something up, record it for a while, you might even get a 30-second thing. All you need is 5 seconds, good soundbite, it goes viral. Anything that you have up there that is going to be able to take in revenue is now up.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Yeah. It's about being not at the right place at the right time. It's about having it.
Yeah.
It's about having it.
Well, and it's intention, right? Being conscious of the thing, which is, it can be annoying to some people because I'm always documenting or recording something. But at the same time, man, every single day when I get done and I lay across the bed or I've just put my kids down, I can go back and reflect on like all the stuff that I did, the whole range of emotions where I was super excited and I was frustrated trying to get the kids out of the door. And then I hopped on call with my kids. I got my reward from going to the gym. I drive this beautiful way every single day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, man, I got a great life. It reminds me because I'm an entrepreneur. So sometimes I can, because it seems like I'm just malcontent all the time because I'm always striving for greatness. And I can be a challenge, but every single day there's a reminder. And I'm like, man, so I am the content. I'm building my dream life brick by brick. And the reason why it's important is because I had to get intentional about a couple of things. It's like, oh, what kind of content do I need to create? So a few things that made it really simple for me was the things that I was already interested in and already doing. I do like the lifestyle stuff. It works really well on Instagram. I'm pretty big into fitness. Like I'm not like a CrossFit or anything like that, but I like going to the gym. So I'm already kind of doing those things. So I was like, okay, some lifestyle, some fitness. And I love talking about entrepreneurship, content, business. So I'm like, well, that covers the people who I'm trying to attract or get their attention from is other people like you and I that it's not our whole life, but it's a big component of it. You're interested in it. You can see the impact immediately. And I focused on those 3 buckets: lifestyle, which also encompasses some motivation and fitness that are in there, and then business. And so if you're out there trying to figure out, okay, what types of content that I need to create, that's a good place to start.
Yep. Yeah. You just got to really narrow in what authentically brings you joy. And I feel like that will be the source of a lot of things. And I know a lot of that really comes from, I know Rick Rubin kind of talks about this in his book, The Creative Act, where I hear your kids screaming. This is funny because the childlike wonder and curiosity that we have, whatever you're drawn towards, you'll always find the most joy out of. You'll always find what will make you feel at home. So if there's something that pushes you in that route, that's what you should be making content of. That's what's going to be the easiest to resonate with someone. rather if it's as niche as possible, please, because that will be what resonates with one person, and then you'll get a little bit broader, and then it'll get to a wider group of people, and the broader part will get to the a little bit less concentrated group of people. But it's better to go from that niche part that you find so much joy and passion in than going extremely broad, like you said, trying to get everyone and get no one. And then when you do get to what you're passionate on, no one's there with you because no one was there in the beginning.
Yeah, so true. And as you were saying that, the thing that just kind of cropped up in my spirit was that I feel like sometimes with content, people don't think that what they have going on is as interesting as it actually is. But it really is. It's interesting. Dude, that's the only thing we're doing. People are like taking a screenshot of their food or the walking their dog or something like that. And we're looking through it. Right. And so it's not interesting maybe to us, but to other people, we're not doing that. I could be at work, right? And I snuck in the bathroom because my coworker next to me just won't stop talking. And I could see somebody on the beach or walking their dog. And it's like, man, I'd definitely rather be doing that than listening to this person yap all day. And I think that if we value more of our experience in the things that we're doing right now, then that would allow us to share, because it's inspirational when you're actually doing something. You're stepping out there, you're being brave, whatever the case is, doing this podcast, going on stage, right? Like raising a family. Like some people like, bro, I don't know if I'm ready for that, whatever, they're getting married. All of those things is like, you just don't know who you inspire first. And they bought a raise actually.
Let's go. Yeah. I already got the blessing, so we're good there. Yes. And she keeps literally every day, she's like, can't wait to be your wife. So she got so much intel. And then when I bought the ring, I was like, listen, you're in the dark now. You're in the dark. You don't get to know how, when, or I guess you get to know why.
But again, that's a cool experience, because now I can relate to that. It's like, I remember that. I remember running across the street in the rain on the last day of vacation to try to ask, because it was the only moment that I could ask her dad to do it, because everybody else was around. And I had that one moment because I had the ring, I had brought it down there, and it was crazy. So yeah, man, get my whole point. It's like, that's a cool experience that you're like, oh, I'm doing this. Well, yeah, I'm excited now. That's pretty good, and can't wait to see you make that next step. So again, you are the content. You don't need to create content. You just need to turn the camera on. So with that being said, that is the blueprint to creating content, to having leverage so that you can make money while you sleep, so you don't have to work till you're dead.
Yes, sir.
Let's go.